Now the year is 2009. A new regulation of F1 cars has arrived, and BRAWN GP rock up to the very first race and get a front row lockout. That was history back in 2009, and today we're going to try and beat their first ever pole lap with Jenson in the BRAWN GP 001 at Australia, the first race of the season. Now the lap times are a little bit different. I'll leave them on the screen now, but basically back in 2009 refueling was still a thing. So in Q3 the cars would qualify on their race fuel load, so they would be heavier. Q2 was their quickest low fuel run of the weekend. So we have a couple of targets. The first one is to try and beat a 1:26.2 from Jenson in Q3. If we beat that, we'll drop down to a 1:24.8 in Q2. So hopefully you enjoy something different, and this is not the last time you're going to see this car, hopefully, in the series. So let me know what you think. But yeah, here we go then. A retro episode, BRAWN's first ever Grand Prix weekend, and what a weekend it was. Anyway, let's get to it. We're going to send it on this very first lap. We're going to see what we can do. This is currently a completely default setup with default fuel load, so we'll see how the car performs. So here we go then. Through the final corner, getting the lap underway. Bit of oversteer out of the final bend as we take on the pit straight. Down to turn number 1. Gonna go third gear, be patient on the throttle, on the exit. This car had no KERS, unlike some of the other 2009 cars, so we don't have that here today, but that wasn't used in real life anyways. Through turn 3, a little bit wide there of the apex, didn't really challenge. Turn 4, that's a bit more like it. Flat out through 5. As we close out sector 1. Into 6 and 7, I believe. Trying to stay within track limits, that was pretty close. And now into the chicane. Bit of rear locking on the way in, had to catch the back end. Snap on exit as the rears get away. Currently on a default setup, hard tyres, all that stuff, so you can improve, of course. Into the chicane. Taking 2 downshifts down a 4th, which is quite slow. And now into sector 3. Spot the braking. Turn 14, I believe. Or turn 12, give or take. Using lots of outside curb. Or maybe turn 10 to be fair. I don't even know anymore. Anyway, penultimate corner. Oh, a little bit wide there. Just had no front grip. Tyres are a bit cold still, so lacking a bit of tyre temp. Final corner. Okay. Up to the line. Let's see what the first lap is. 1:27.8. Okay, not too bad to be fair. So 1.6 away from the race fuel lap, but 3 seconds away from the best lap of the weekend. Now the car feels a lot quicker. We now have the presence of soft tyres, so the green strips are on the edges of the tyres. We've also reduced the fuel quite a lot, and I've also added a bit more front wing. So now we're going to get a bit more of an idea as to what the true pace of this car is. So here we go, through the final corner, a bit of a controlled slide as we race down to turn number 1. I've also shortened the gearbox a little bit, got the delta on the wheel, so you can see it for yourself. Turn 1, nice and tidy there, getting straight down to the apex, already up by half a second. Turn 3. The anchor's a bit earlier this time, just about got the apex there. Gonna keep it in second through turn 4. Bit of a snap there, a little bit scruffy, so definitely a bit of time on the table. 7/10 up though. In sector 1, turn 6. Oh, back end sliding all over the place. Still going quicker though, as we head into the chicane. Back end snaps away again there. This time a nice smooth exit, unlike the previous lap. Now to the chicane, let's try and clean this up a little bit. There we go, holding it at 5th, getting a really good exit this time. And now into sector 3, which is where it's going to make the most difference. Nice Nicely done through there. 3 corners remain. Holding it in 4th this time. Also getting the apex there for the penultimate corner, which is going to give us a big chunk of time. And now the final corner, also really good, and that has been a really good lap. This is going to get us in the postcode, 25.4. So we smashed the Q3 time, and we're now about 0.6 away from the best Q2 lap. So I could do some small adjustments, so let's see if we can get a bit closer. Bit of fuel left to trim out. Of course, no battery modes, you know, no ERS modes, so this is pretty much it now. That's all we can push. It's literally just fuel, tyres, and some wing adjustments. So it's not like I can, you know, crank up the engine mode and go quicker. So let's see what else I can change. Now, to be fair, this could well be the lap. I've once again shortened the gear ratio so we can hit a better 7th gear. I've also reduced the fuel now to minimum, so the lowest we can run it. And I've also made a small tyre pressure adjustment. So we should have some better temps as we get the lap underway. So through the final corner, I've also lowered the rear wing, so it might unsettle the car a bit, but hopefully it will give us a bit better top speed. So turn number 1. Take a nice little bit of a curb on entry and exit, although right now we're still down on our previous attempt. Turn 3. Bit of rear locking, easily does it. Gonna adjust brake bias to be fair. Back to 2nd for turn 4, we keep it clean this time. Flat out to be 5, gonna shift the brake bias towards the front to help us out. Turn 6, nice. Okay, we're half a second up, so this is looking good. Cut up the mistakes into the chicane. Oh, bit of a rear snap again there every time. Take it in 3rd. Actually lost a little bit of time there to be fair, so at the minute we're not doing enough through the chicane. Here we go. Up to 6th on the exit, that was really quick. Bit of an early shift to 7th there, as we now head into the final part of the lap. Close with track limits, might have to get a check on that one. Still matching, this is going to be close. It's going to come down to these final 2 corners. That was a very nice penultimate corner. Great final corner, and that might just give it to us with the lower wing. There we go, 24.7. So we just beat JB. I'm going to try one more time. I don't think I'm going to change the setup. I really like how the car feels. I think this is quite decent on the limit. I just think I can maybe squeeze a bit more out of it. So let's try one more time. Wow. What a lap. I don't think there was a single mistake in that lap. I'm very happy. That might be one of the laps of the series, and I've done it pretty much straight away. The car is so good to drive. It's such a fun car to drive, such a good mod. Wow. Woo, what a lap. That actually, maybe the final corner had a slight snap, but That felt really bloody quick. So now time for a quick overview of the setup for this lap. So the gearbox, I basically brought the whole gear ratios down by clicking on the final gear ratio and dropping it down by 2 clicks, which gave us a top speed of 320, which is pretty decent for Australia, especially the old version. Tyres, I went for the softs, of course, with the green stripe, and I also reduced the front tyre pressures by 1 click to have a bit more front tyre temp. Fuel was set to not 57, it was set to 2.2 laps, so 9 litres of fuel for the best lap. Aero, I reduced the rear by 1 and increased the front by 1 on each side. And then alignment default, dampers default, drivetrain default. In the brakes, I went as low as 54, but ended up going back to default of 56 to have better stability on the braking, so I could brake later, and then everything else is also completely default. So guys, there we go, the BRAWN GP car, an absolute piece of history. This particular car is the end of Season 1 at Brazil. Maybe it was a bit quicker than the start of the Season 1, so that might have influenced the lap time a little bit, but it's the version of the car that we have. But yeah, in the end, I beat the lap by quite a bit of a margin. I think I could have maybe reduced the track grip a little bit on the conditions, which I always try and, get accurate for these videos, but still a lot of fun. One of my better laps of the series, because if you watch it on the replay view, you can see we're so close to the barriers and every single white line on track limits every single time. So a really good lap. Like the video, guys. Let's try and smash over 1,000 likes. Subscribe for more daily F1 content on my channel as well, as I'm going to be posting a lot of these during the off season. So get your suggestions in the comments down below as well of what you want to see. And there's also a link to the playlist down below, guys, of all the ones we've done so far. So don't suggest ones that we've already covered on the channel. So go check the playlist out and see if there's one in there for you that you might enjoy. But yeah, guys, cheers for watching. As always, a big shout out to the members for supporting the channel. Check out the 2 videos on screen if you haven't seen them already. And yeah, cheers for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, and let's goodbye from me.